Welcome back to Insight Indonesia. We're talking today with Gareth Evans and Joe Taslim. Gareth is the director, and Joe is one of the stars of the film The Raid, which is known in the U.S. as The Raid Redemption.
Yes.
For negotiated contractual purposes.
Exactly.
That's what we got to keep the lawyers.
For legal reasons.
You have to keep the lawyers employed.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, all of your money goes to the lawyers. How's the film performing at the box office so far?
Locally, very good. Locally, we're very, very happy. It's doing very well. And in the US, we're very happy because we were, in terms of screen average, we came in second just after the Hunger Games. Everyone's going to know, like, the Hunger Games is the big box
Which means that if you had been on 12,000 screens like Hunger Games, you'd have kicked them up. You'd have kicked their butt.
That's up for debate. I'd like to think that we could, but, you know, yeah. I mean, it's like it's two totally different demographics as well, you know.
Sure.
Our film is very sort of hard-edged, aggressive little action film. So, I mean, for a movie like ours to play on initially 14 screens in the first week, in order to get that in like a theatrical release in the US, for, you know, Indonesian language, independent action movie to do what it has is pretty incredible. So we're very.
You started on 14 screens in the U.S. and what's next?
This weekend the release gets expanded and we're in over 230 different screens now across the country. So very excited. We're adding more cities and more venues, so we're coming to attack them. So yeah.
Indonesia's coming.
Yeah, we're invading. We're invading the U.S.
Joe, you're a martial arts guy, right? You started. You're a judo.
Yes.
A judo master. What is a judo?
A judo athlete. Yes.
You're a judo athlete. So you came to acting from the martial arts world. What was it like acting in this movie? This was your first martial arts movie, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, this is the first martial arts movie. Joining this project is really, I thought it's gonna be just like, I'm just doing my things, like doing things, you know, like fighting skills and things. But when I get into it, it's more than that. Because Gareth is so detailed about the reason, the motivation of the fight. It's not just a fight. Because in this fight, there's no dialogue. Everything has to be shown in the expressions, in the speed, and sometimes reaction of the hit. So there's a huge, I mean, like there's a deep drama inside every fight in the raid, because we can tell everyone, like when we watch in Toronto, the audience feels like they're there, they're inside the fight. So that's kind of when we're shooting, the process is really detailed and we work really hard. So thank God it works, yeah.
I think like one of the things that kind of gets often like overlooked when it comes to like screen fighting performance is that people give like a lot of credit to actors when they deliver a good scene of drama. But the thing is, for drama, that actor can live out that moment for a long take. So it can be like if you have a dialogue scene, you play it out from beginning to end. So you find a flow, and then you find your character within that scene. But then for a fight performer, they're doing 2 to 3 second chunks of that scene, and repeatedly over and over again. And it's very quick, very fast, but they have to, it's not just a question of, you know, finding the timing for the punch, the block, or the reaction, but also to be able to sell the desperation and the aggression in there, and that there has to be like an arc throughout the fight. And then when
you have to do that, you do that in little tiny chunks.
Little tiny chunks, so like 2 or 3 seconds each shot, but then, you know, that's like maybe, there might be like 100 shots that make up that one sequence. And we shoot that over 4 or 5 days. And each shot may be 15 to 20 takes. So the stamina and the mental process, like to keep them in that sort of headspace and to keep them knowing where they are at that certain point in the fight. And sometimes we shoot out of order. So then you're kind of, you know, you're trying to kind of work this way around. It's a very like difficult thing for them as a performer then. And now that often gets kind of overlooked because people just say, oh, okay, he can punch and kick. But there's much more to it than that as well.
And do you think part of the appeal of the film is that the dialogue is almost unnecessary? I mean, do you need to understand the dialogue to get the basic idea of what's going on
in the film? Movie?
I think like for that, it's more like, I mean, obviously there's dialogue in the film.
Of course,
yeah,
I don't mean.
But it's I think like martial arts and action films in general, kind of the same as like horror. There's a universal thing about them. It doesn't matter if you really understand everything that's going on, like dialogue-wise. it's a very visual medium, so you can convey certain messages and convey certain tones through like the editing and the camera work, not necessarily down to like what's being spoken. So there are like long stretches of the film where it's all about building up suspense and tension without necessarily having anyone kind of say anything. And often those are the moments where it's kind of fun to watch it with the crowd then, because like they'll cheer and holler and scream and clap whenever it's the fight sequences, like when it's kicked off and big and loud. But it's the quiet moments that lead up to those which I enjoy, or the quiet moments after the fight has ended, where you get to see the audience. Everyone's like a collective gasp. Everyone goes quiet, and then you can hear a pin drop in the theater. And those are the great moments because you know you've got them then. You know you've hooked them in then.
Now, Joe, are you a good guy in the film?
Yeah, I'm a good guy. I play a good guy. I play the sergeants that leading 20 cops to raid the building.
Oh, so you're actually the leader. We saw you in the trailer. You're the guy leading them into this building.
Lead my man, 20 cops.
And what actually is going on in that building?
Actually, the motivation of my character is like this. That building is full of criminals and things, and lead by one guy. And my mission is like, I got direct order from one level up to me. I have to take him out and just so it's supposed to be get in, take him out, that's it. But what happens is,
it all goes wrong.
Doesn't work that way. It becomes 30 Floors of Chaos, as the trailer promises.
It would be a 5-minute film if it was that easy for them. So yeah.
And Iko, the star of the film, is really Iko, who's the new Pencak Silat guy, the king,
the master.
Is he a member of the SWAT team, or is he?
Yes, he's playing like a new recruit, so he's like a rookie member of that team, newly assigned, and it's the baptism of fire for his character. Really, I mean, he's going into that building. Some would say unprepared because of his newly
he's new to it,
his new status. But as the day goes by, you kind of realize that he's the most adept person to be in that building. So.
We're gonna take a break here. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit about what the reviews have been like and what it's like to get a bad review, and what it's like to win all this praise for The Raid. You're watching Inside Indonesia, brought to you by the Jakarta Globe. Stay with us.